Oh, good. Let's see. I don't know what time of day it is right now, but uh, to those of you that don't know me, I am Jill Coletti with Evolve with Jill. And yes, I do have a little scruffy voice right now, but I am okay. I am here specifically today to share about this amazing Invincible Family Project that I have here. Um, now and what I do is family is so huge. Family is like super centric to my work and what I am super passionate about. My desire is to help moms and families like get out of that kind of stuck, overwhelmed, Groundhog Day-ish kind of life to live a life they love. And ultimately, my dream is to create a legacy for like my children ongoing and to help other moms do the same thing, right? And so now I have Amy Wicks-Horn on with me today, who is one of the amazing authors of inside this book. There's 27 of us total. And you may have caught some of the other authors when I've spoken with them before. Now, Amy's story. So here's the thing: we all became connected through the same program, right? We're all a part of this book, and we're all looking to create invincible families and, instill hope and serve and help others. But everyone's story, as relatable as they are, they're all very different, which is amazing. So, Amy, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining me.
Thank
I'm
you.
hoping that you
I
could.
love you. I love that we're connected in this way. I'm so
Oh,
grateful
me
to just get to
too.
see you tonight and
Oh,
today and chat.
yeah.
It's a treat.
I'm so happy to have you here. And like, I mean, I obviously have read your story because, hey, of course I would read your story, right? It's just so inspiring to me. And there's I've had Me Too moments, even though our stories are not parallel, right? They're not the same. Excuse me. I had so many Me Too moments just reading that.
Oh, thank you.
And like it just lit a little bit more fire. Like every story I read, it just lights something else up. Like, hey, if she can do it, I can do it. And we're in this together. And here we go, creating this hope.
That's
So,
it. Creating invincible families because we
yeah.
felt our families have been vulnerable.
Exactly.
That's the
So,
beauty.
can you share a little bit like about you and yours? Obviously, without giving away like the whole chapter, right? But like,
Well, so
if you could share about you, that would be
yes.
awesome.
So my name's Amy Wicks-Horn, and I am a recovering nonprofit leader. I absolutely adore service in the nonprofit world, and I was grateful to be a leader in that field for many years. But it had way too many hours and way too little pay to support my beautiful family. My husband is now a retired police officer. And so, with the both of us kind of being in the service world, there were sacrifices that were made. And what I didn't expect was that way before all that started, one of the sacrifices I was making somewhat unknowingly was my health. I woke up in 2002 and the right side of my face was completely paralyzed. I had what's called Bell's palsy, and it's basically a paralysis of a nerve that's right here. And so I looked like I'd had a massive stroke. My kids were little at the time, and so, your heart just drops. You don't know what's going on. Fortunately, I feel extraordinarily blessed. I had great medical care and I worked to recover. And that kind of led me to my health journey, which is part of what I share with people. But that still didn't fix my financial challenges. So, only in the last year or two, after being a part of this incredible group that I am with Jill, did I realize I was just looking, at the financial piece all wrong. I was looking at old patterns. Well, I've got my degrees and I'm a COO and I'm an executive director, and this should be able to pay the bills. And it just wasn't. So, thinking out of the box and still being able to come from a place of service, I've been able to create 2 six-figure businesses in a year and went from living month to month worried for my health to being really balanced and having 6 months savings in the bank. And so I don't want anybody else to go through what I went through. I don't want any other mom or dad or family to feel that that they're sacrificing their health or their time or their stability or their money, any of that, because it's not necessary, right? I thought I was being a good trooper, and it's ridiculous. It's a
Oh,
myth. You don't need to do it. Everyone can do what we're doing in this book. There are so many stories. Every single story in here could be you. And when you read these and you see what people have done, it's exactly what Jill said. It just like that fire just kindles even brighter, and your hope grows, and your knowledge that you don't ever have to go back to that life again. You don't ever have to be exhausted, no time for your kids and husband, worried about where the next bills are going to come from. Can we do braces for this one? That part of your life is done, and the new part of your life has begun, where there's balance and abundance and health.
and so what I love so much about your story is, and everyone's story is a little bit different, right? Like what people are looking for and where they've come from. What I would love to hear a little bit about is how did you, when you were in such a point that was like low, right? Like those low points where you were stuck in that story, right? I think one of the big pieces for me, when you said you were like recovering, nonprofit leader, like I was like, I'm like a recovering corporate person because, and
Yes.
I'm still there. Like there's still so much of me that will lean automatically to kind of corporate. And the only way, like I still think about it is like the only way I'm going to be successful and all the benefits and all the things that kind of get tied up, what they call like the golden handcuffs, right? And you
That's it.
get tied up kind of in that story. And then it's almost though like as if you're living a story that someone else created,
That's it.
right?
Oh, that you said it. That's magic what you just said.
So right, so how did you get yourself and kind of start when you're kind of down here, right? You're dealing with health issues and then, you know, your husband and there's all this change and obviously pandemic and all these other things, right?
Right?
How did you transition to now be able to now have two six-figure businesses? Like what I'm interested in like that actual transition. Like how did you get and make the decision that like this is not going to be my life. I'm not going to live by someone else's rules. I'm not living someone else's story. This is my story.
Well, half of it was decided for us. My husband was laid off, which, pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But my husband was laid off. And because I was part of the program that we're a part of, I said, you got to start your own firm. You just have to start your own firm. You
Yeah.
can no longer be part of that. He was in the golden handcuff scenario where,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why aren't you out meeting new people? Well, that's illegal where we live right now. And I'm not sure where I would go or who I
Right.
would meet. I'm pretty sure they don't have money to buy and, invest stocks right now. Or it was just, and I understood, kind of how everything transpired and why everything transpired. But the minute we really sat down together as a couple and I said, here's the difference for us is that we're going to stick to those values of service. We're going to continue to operate from a space of service. So, service to all the stakeholders, service to potential employees, service to customers. It's not just going to be what's the checklist for the day, what are the goals for the month. It's going to be meeting people where they are and helping them with what they need. And it's kind of flipped. I wouldn't say that most industries don't care about service, but it's kind of like, oh, if we don't do service, we might get a black eye. And for us
Mm.
and for the program that we're in, service comes first. And so we work with a servant heart and we are the hands and feet that are helping people. So his started very, very slowly and slowly started to grow organically and through service. And our second business was one we had been doing part time for years that we never thought was a big deal, that literally we found about in a side conversation at a picnic. And I don't want that to be how anybody else can find out about one of their dream businesses. I want to
Right.
be the person to say, anybody who wants to do this. The second business is loan signing mortgage documents as notaries. It's so, I mean, there's a lot you can learn about how to do it. We've been doing it for
Yeah.
10 years and we have a program to teach you how to do it. There's a lot of technicalities, but at the end of the day, you do the paperwork and you go home. You try to help people and you go home. It's
Yeah.
not this, when I was COO at our local YMCA, that never ends. That's 24/7, every
Yeah.
weekend, every holiday. How are we going to get lifeguards? What's going on in the childcare? And this is like, oh, I had 8 great closings today and 1 cranky closing today. No big deal. So
Yeah.
one was just sheer, we got to do something, let's invent something. And one was, let's make something out of this experience that we've done before, but make it really different than anybody else out there. And we constantly were getting feedback like, you guys are amazing. Why are you're great. We're so grateful, when all we were doing was putting people first. And that blew people away. It shouldn't,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
it surely did. It really did. And there have been times we certainly go above and beyond. There's a joke in the office. I actually did do a closing in an ambulance this year. So there are
Wow,
times,
that's a cool story.
yeah, there
Wow.
are times that service first is a little wacky. But in
Yeah.
general, I work less, I earn more, I help people, and I love what I do. I don't need a degree. I don't need any sort of expensive, you know, machinery or
Yeah.
documentation or anything. So anybody can do it. It's easy and fun. That's what I love to share.
And that's so amazing. I mean, the program that we've kind of mentioned a couple of times, it's called the HomeBased Revolution. And that's how we met, through Martha Krejci, who is the creator, Invincible Family Project coordinator, all of the things. Like, she is like a genius when it comes to marketing and all of that. But, and she really knows her stuff. But like you said, the core part to all of this is the heart-centered, being of service approach. And also the big thing is, like, you're using your unique talents and ideas, and you're approaching, the notary business in your own unique way, right? And you're
Exactly.
combining, I know for you, like, the big thing is like the health and the wealth, right? Like,
That's exactly it. We want to help people take control of their health and their finances, because we didn't used to have either.
yeah. And they don't need to be, they don't have to be this separate thing. Like, I work towards, and because those are my two, like, almost like I always call my nemesis. Like, I'm really good at the family, the, the fun, the, that sort of thing. It's the finances and like the fitness stuff that are like my two struggles, or like the spiritual side. I'm so good with that. I'm so good with all these things, but they do come hand in hand. Like, they are so ridiculously related. Everything is, right? Everything is interwoven. But
In our trainings, what I often say is, if you're really stressed about money, you're not yourself. For
yes,
years, I was not my best self, because as much as I have faith and as much as I, believed that everything was going to be okay, hope isn't a strategy. And as hard as I worked,
yeah,
and as much as I followed the rules and got my master's degree and became a COO and an executive director, it didn't cut the mustard.
yeah,
And my family, we were all happy to be of service, but I know I missed so much time with my kids growing up. We were all at the turkey trot together, but I am so grateful now to be able to, as their adults, spend more quality time with them because of the transitions that I've made. And my cup of tea isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. That's the other
yeah.
thing that is so amazing about Martha, is what she wants
Mhm.
to do is help you. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you have a God-given talent. You have a gift and a knowledge and something that's special and unique to only you, that you can share with the world in a way that is in service, that will help bless your family as well. And finding where those things meet, and then working to make sure that that helps sustain you both health wise, spiritual wise, all of those things.
Yeah,
That's Martha's mission, is to make families invincible. And
yeah,
she's certainly responsible for making mine invincible. And I will never be able to pay her enough homage and gratefulness. And I will always share, share, share.
yeah. I love this. And you're paying it forward. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
So
And
when
just
Amy
in
just
turn,
said, when you just said, if you hear my voice, you have something in you, whoever's watching this right now, she wasn't talking to me. Yes, I believe her, and yes, she is talking to me, but she is also talking to you and you and you and you and you and whoever is watching this, that you do have it in you. And I think this is one of the big things, and this could be even my, if you have thought it up, if something comes to your mind, if you have that dream,
Yes.
there's a reason why you have that.
We need you. We need your dream.
Yes. Yep.
It's not just about, could this be what helps my family? The world needs that. The world needs your voice.
Yeah. It all starts with each individual, like each person that you put your health first, you worked on you, you're now able to shine your light with your husband and every client you reach out to. And then they reach out to the next person. And ultimately, by your own self-care and you following your dreams and you doing your thing, you're helping the entire world, because
We
there is
are,
that
right?
ripple effect. We
Like,
are.
That's why it's called the home-based revolution. It is a
Yes.
revolution.
That
And
is why it says everyday families creating hope for their future.
That's
And
it.
it's not just for our individual future, that's for the future
Well,
of
and
the
I
families.
heard people talking like this when I was not stable. I heard people talking like this when I was sick. I heard people talking like this when I was taking out loans to pay my bills. And I just thought, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And the answer is, I don't know the exact solution for you if you can hear my voice, but I do know Martha can help lead the way. And someone in this book, one of these stories, if it's not financial advising or health and wellness or notary work, then you can skip my chapter and just know you saw this great little chat with me and Jill, and I will bless you and release you. But somebody in this book has a story that will just change everything for you. And if you can get into, Martha has a great free group that you can join that is on Facebook, where you can just kind of test the waters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just see what you think.
So I don't know, Amy, I could probably talk to you all day, literally.
I know, we're those people. I love you. I can't help it.
I could literally talk to you all day. Like, so I am sharing, I have Amy's contact info in here. So if you did hear her voice and she resonates with you and you're looking for some help with your health and your finances, and go connect with Amy. And if you're feeling like I desire to grab the book, I have the link in there. If you're interested in Martha's free group or the HomeBased Revolution, I'm going to share all the links in the comments. So just check them out there. And just reach out to us if you have any questions or you'd just like to share. And Amy, seriously, thank you so much for connecting with me.
You guys are so lucky to be with Jill and have her generous connectivity and leadership and her authentic voice. I mean, who wouldn't want to be following her and her great evolved group? You're in the right spot. And I would say you have found your person. So enjoy it. And thank you for just blessing me with your time. It was an absolute thrill to chat with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a great day, everybody.